Ubisoft is in trouble once more. Guys, this is now becoming almost like a joke, right? So Ubisoft has another problem on its back. Just recently, a Ubisoft shareholder has claimed the company has failed to disclose a meeting or various meetings with EA and Microsoft about IP acquisition. Now, this is quite some serious stuff because this investor is actually threatening to sue the company and is actually planning a protest outside of the company's HQ in Paris. We're talking about the company called AJ Investments. Although they only hold less than 1% stake in the company, as an investor, that's still a lot of millions of dollars or euros, all right? So it's still a lot of money. It's not like like $400 or something, right? It's quite a lot of money these people have invested, and they are not happy with the current management. This is quote unquote from their own words. This is from the IGN article. Ubisoft shareholder plots protests outside the Paris HQ, accuses company of failing to reveal discussions with Microsoft and EA and others. There's more. There is more. This is crazy. They even said that the company is horribly mismanaged by current management. Now, that's a very strong accusation, and the company is actually considering an actual lawsuit. A lawsuit against these people, against their own company they're investing in, because they're just sick and tired of how Ubisoft's leadership is just letting the company go into absolute destruction, self-destruction. It's just incredible. So here we have the full scope of this. In the IGN article, one disgruntled Ubisoft shareholder has started spilling some information about what's going on over there right now. The CEO of AJ Investments claims that the Assassin's Creed maker failed to disclose discussions with Microsoft and EA and others that are interested in acquiring IPs from Ubisoft. Kurpa apparently mentioned that these discussions were shared in a restricted article published by business investment platform Merger Market. A restricted article. And that neither Ubisoft investors nor the public were informed of them by the French game maker. Again, this is very problematic because the investors of the company, if you don't disclose this information, you could be risking a lawsuit. This is really serious stuff, right? In its defense, Ubisoft has shared a statement to IGN as part of the Today article, a statement that's filled with plenty of business jargon, the sort of language that makes your brain melt when reading it. Anyway, from what we can parse, Ubisoft is basically saying that it's exploring different options for the future of its IP. And we'll only find out more if and when any of those options turn out into an actual deal. As we mentioned during the Q3 sales, the review of various transformational, strategic, and capitalistic options is ongoing. The board has established an ad hoc independent committee. Yeah, right, ad hoc independent committee to oversee this formal and competitive process as to extract the best value from Ubisoft assets and franchises for all stakeholders. Ubisoft will inform the market in accordance with applicable regulations if and once a transaction materializes. Yeah, man, that's right. So people are already obviously speculating. They're like saying, okay, what's going to happen here? Are they going to buy? Some people are pushing for Microsoft to buy, Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed, and maybe Far Cry, because that literally means that, they will be getting on the Xbox Game Pass all of these games. Some of them are already there, obviously, but, they will be getting everything, right? On the Game Pass, even Ubisoft, even Star Wars Outlaws or Rainbow Six Siege. So yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Now, that's the thing. Like right now, there's a lot of people who are actually pushing for this stuff. Microsoft sold out, by the way, its cloud mobile position to Ubisoft for 15 years. So this is an interesting thing, right? No cloud exclusivity for any console exclusive for over a decade. But then if they would buy the IP, then I guess they would buy the IP from Ubisoft and then they would pay Ubisoft royalties over the cloud profits. It's just crazy, right? How this goes. It's just insane, right? Now, the next part of this is going to be a protest outside of the offices in Paris, because the investor is really unhappy about the whole performance of the company. And yeah, because of that, of course, as you know, the as the CEO from this investment company, AJ Investments, has said, management did not inform public about these steps either, right? So, you know, because of that, they feel like they've been left out, and they feel like they're not getting good value for their investment. Because even if you're a small investor, right, because, you know, these people, AJ Investments, have actually kind of raised a lot of questions, and they were really like poking around and telling Ubisoft, saying, hey, you know, we understand you have problems, but, you know, get your house together in order, make changes to management, cut out the fat, because you are getting in big trouble. And that's the big issue. Right now, Ubisoft does not want to change that much. I mean, they hired two companies, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, to audit their strategies and give them recommendations. So they are literally wasting another 5, 10, 20 million dollars on these companies, because their services are not cheap. Trust me, right? They're so not cheap. And what are these companies going to tell them? They're going to tell them what everybody knows. You have to fire half of your staff because they're useless. You have too much bloat. Some of your projects are literally useless. Your bureaucracy is just absolute crap. So you have to basically, you know, clean house, reset your strategies, reset your projects, and change your vision. So when you produce a game, even if you release just 1 or 2 games a year, these games are bangers. They're made for gamers, by gamers, and they're quality, not like just random bloat, copy and paste, as we've seen with Far Cry games over the last couple of years, where they were just literally copy and paste. So guys, a lot of things are happening here, but honestly, I did not expect this to happen. A protest on the street. That's crazy, right? I mean, we're gonna see this, and if they actually do the protest outside, I'm sure there's going to be videos on X on this, and it's just gonna be hilarious. Like, it's literally just gonna be hilarious. An Ubisoft shareholder is attempting to organize a protest after accusing the company of failing to disclose alleged discussions with Ubisoft, EA, and other publishers reportedly interested in acquiring its franchise. I mean, what do you want, right? This is just crazy. Actually, Ubisoft is actually trending right now. So if you go to Ubisoft, there's actually more stuff here. We have this, which Ubisoft again demonstrates their dedication to authentic Japanese culture and history. It's a joke. By imprinting iconic Qing Dynasty, Chinese Dynasty pottery patterns into their collector's edition art book. Oh my god. I mean, these people are just, they're just like, they don't care anymore. They just literally don't care. They just check out like cool Asian designs. Oh, there we go. That one looks cool. Put in, just put it in. It doesn't matter. Man, this is amazing. Now, obviously the gameplay looks pretty cool. I mean, it has to look cool because they spend so much money onto this game. Like, they're saying somewhere that they spent more than $300 million on this game, the most expensive Assassin's Creed game in history. So of course it has to be good. If it's not, I mean, it's just gonna be ridiculous, right? But that's the question. Can one single game save Ubisoft? That's the big question, which right now we don't know the answer. You know, there's lots of debates around here and everything. We don't know, right? People are saying, you know, there's people who are angry about Ubisoft, there's people who are happy about Ubisoft, there's people who say there's like exaggerations about Ubisoft, so all these things. But at the end of the day, let's be honest, there's only going to be one big question, which is the following. Will Ubisoft be able to save itself with a single game? That's the question. And the answer is going to come in a couple of weeks. Like, if in the first month Ubisoft cannot sell at least 10 million copies in the first month, or 5 to 10 million copies, because I mean, you know, just to give one example, Monster Hunter Wilds sold 8 million copies across all platforms in 3 days. In 3 days, 8 million copies. So if this game doesn't sell 5 to 10 million copies in the first month, they are cooked. they are literally cooked because they just don't have enough liquidity and they have to make a lot of cash flow. There are a lot of cash flow happening here, so that's why, you know, they need to sell as many copies as possible because otherwise they will be screwed. As this one says here, Ubisoft had everything they needed to succeed. Unfortunately, they're idiots. They have tons of IPs that they should be devoting time to producing sequels for, but they're not. Their only upcoming game has had more controversy surrounding it than a year of drunk Kane West tweets. All their recent titles have failed to impress, and the shareholders are now so pissed they want to stage protests. I guess this is what happens when they have out-of-touch bosses and management making piss-poor decisions and blatantly ignore the wants and needs of gamers. This is the most important thing. As many people said, and many smart CEOs have said, listen to the gamers, because gamers are your bosses. Your bosses are not your stakeholders, your bosses are the gamers, because we paid for the games with our freaking wallets. So we are your boss. That's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Make your boss happy. What the hell does that mean? Very simple. Make the gamer happy, because we are your boss and we decide your fate with our wallet. A very simple concept. You know, you are not entitled to anything. As a company, you do not have any right to expect people to buy your game just because of your, I don't know, you're famous or you're clout or you're because you were successful 10 years ago. It does not work like that. I'm very sorry. If you release a shit game, people will not buy your game and then you will literally go bankrupt. That's the reality of the situation. End of story. So Ubisoft, we shall see what happens in the next week. The game releases, and if the game does not sell 5 to 10 million copies in the first month, Ubisoft is literally screwed. Guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next upload.